It's been over a year since the disappearance of 21-year-old Sofia McKenna. May 27, 2018.
You never knew if it was going to be a good day or a bad day with her.
Sofia McKenna and her friend Spencer Mugford took a boat out on the water to visit the new London Ledge Lighthouse off the coast of Connecticut near Avery Point.
2 weeks prior, she feared for her life, and that case has now been dropped. So where does it go from here?
What should have been a night of fun ended in tragedy and still unanswered questions.
Oh, we're almost there.
What happened to Sofia McKenna? Within the city of Groton, Connecticut, the word of Sofia McKenna's whereabouts remain at a standstill. While reminiscing about Sofia, her hopeful mother, Michelle McKenna, is frustrated and confused about Sofia's disappearance.
She was an only child until she was 6, so she was spoiled rotten, and then her brother came along and stole her thunder. She was a happy little girl. Yeah, she always said she never wanted to grow up. She always wanted to go back to being a little girl, you know, because her father and I got divorced, and it made her really sad. I have 3 children, Sophia, Justin, and Gracie. When she was little, it was really cute. She was about 4, and I worked all day, came home from work, we were sitting on the bed, I'm having coffee, and she wants to do hairdresser. I said, okay. So I'm drinking my coffee, watching Dr. Phil, and she gets up and down, come back and forth, and I'm like, then all of a sudden she was really quiet, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I look around, and my hair was really long. She got a big, long piece of my hair, goes, cutting your hair? And I'm like, I had an alfalfa sprout for about 3 months. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Her and her little sister were very close. Her and her brother are close too. They got into some sneaky stuff I have come to find out since she's been missing that her brother has told me about.
Sofia McKenna wasn't an ordinary girl growing up. As time passed, life got harder and was the start of Sofia's battle.
She had a really hard time dealing with her dad and our divorce, so that affected her a lot. And she was diagnosed bipolar by depression in high school, so she had a really hard time.
Sofia's bipolar depression created obstacles in her everyday life. In the midst of searching for a distraction, Sofia's life spiraled into utter chaos.
Reckless behavior, but considering her age, we all do stupid things, you know. Yeah, she just became a little reckless. I don't want to dig too much into her private life, but relationship-wise, she had issues. And like, it's hard for me to say that, oh yeah, it was great, she was a happy, funny girl. She was, but her boyfriend started doing steroids, and Sofia was bipolar, and they had a very tumultuous relationship where they used to beat the shit out of each other. And so that's why I'm having a hard time. I'm just like, it wasn't all happy-go-lucky.
Since Sofia's disappearance, a Finding Sofia McKenna Facebook page was created by Valerie Mays on July 22, 2018 to keep her investigation alive. Just 2 cities away from Groton lives Anna Bratz, a member of Sofia's army, who is actively searching for answers.
I solved a case a few years ago. So ever since I was young, I've been interested in missing persons cases or anything criminal justice. So because I guess it was so close to home and basically 2 cities over, I just kept following it. But what really got me interested was that 2 families were stating one was the boyfriend and the other one wasn't. It was odd right off the bat.
Austin was seeing another a girl, and Sofia would always like lie rather than, you know, because it was a crazy relationship. And I think she did that to be spiteful, because Austin was seeing someone else. So one night she even told me I'm supposed to go out with Austin, but she called this guy, his name was Double D or something, and she said, I'm with him and I don't know what to do. I'm like, Sofia, don't play games. This is going to get ugly. And it did, because Sofia was supposed to be out with Austin, but she was with this Double D guy, and Austin went to her apartment and was like, let me get in. I want in.
Early on, and again, I'm not going to name any names, that Michelle was the one that told Austin that another gentleman had given her a ride home. So I don't know if that caused him to go into a fit of rage and show up at this girl's house. But that's what I was told.
I'm assuming she had a few drinks in her. They went back to Sofia's apartment where she lived with my friend Bernadette, and Austin got pissed because he had a feeling she was with someone, and she was.
The reporter for the day, she's an investigative reporter that was following the story from the very beginning. So she was telling me that she was doing a story and that she had all this information, and she told me that she had a statement from Sofia the night of the arrest. And that shocked me, and I was like, really? She started reading the report, and I honestly felt sick to my stomach as she was reading it. And it went into detail about Austin showing up to Sofia's house, trying to kick the door down, calling her names, disgusting names, threatening to kill her. Not only that, but using these words, I'll slice your throat. To me, that was like somebody in a fit of rage, and if he'd gotten through to that door, I'm pretty sure that something very bad would have happened.
I blame myself. Like, she was in an abusive relationship because I think that's the product of her environment, if that makes any sense.
Sofia's friend, 20-year-old Spencer Mugford, was raised in Florida. He went to college at the University of Connecticut's Avery Point campus, located in Groton. Allegedly, Sofia and Spencer briefly dated and decided to remain friends after they broke things off.
Her relationship with Spencer, I know from what Sofia told me, I think they worked together at one point at the Red Door, and he did like her more than she liked him. But yeah, they would get into a lot of trouble together, Sofia and Spencer, and I worried about them because there was a lot of drinking involved all the time, you know. She was just very unhappy with her life before she went missing, and that's why she would always say, Mommy, I just want to be a little girl again, and I couldn't help her, you know? I mean, I couldn't help her. Then all of a sudden, that dreaded day came around.
21-year-old Sofia McKenna disappeared in the Long Island Sound Memorial Day weekend after taking a boat out on the water late at night with her friend Spencer Mugford. Mugford's body was found more than a week later, but what happened to the two of them and where Sofia is today remains a mystery.
Yo, we're out here in the fucking ocean. With us, that is the land. Like, we still have to get to there. Wait, where? Oh, we're almost there. Okay, but you know, Spence fucking sucks. Come on, get us there.
Sofia McKenna left her phone in her parked car at the UConn Avery Point campus. Sofia took this Snapchat on Spencer Mugford's phone while they paddled on a white boat. They made their way to the New London Ledge Lighthouse. Spencer took Sofia's last photo at 2 a.m. on Snapchat before they went missing at the Ledge Lighthouse. The rest remains unknown.
It was Saturday night. I didn't get home till Sunday, and when I got back to the house, Austin said, have you looked at your phone? Did anybody try calling you last night? And like I said, in the morning, Gracie had my phone, so she was playing with it. I didn't even think to look to see if I had any missed calls. And sure enough, when I did look, I called the number right back and it went directly. It's to voicemail. It said, you've reached Spencer's cell phone. Leave a message. And I'm like, fuck. So that's when I took Austin seriously, and I said, I'll call the police, you call the hospitals.
And you want to know what I find really interesting is that somebody would call up the police station, and what do you mean they have information as to where she is? Because according to Austin, he knew where she was the night that she had gone missing because he allowed her to go out with Spencer. So the last place that you knew she was out on the water. So how are you gonna have other information as to where you think she may be?
He was very concerned, and I knew at that moment, like, he started to panic, and I knew in my heart something went down bad. Because no one had heard from Spencer either. And I knew that she was with Spencer that night. She said she was going fishing.
Well, at this point, I mean, she didn't call back until the following day when she realized that she had those calls. And it was confirmed, you know, on the page, but I also was in contact with Charlie Mugford, Spencer's father. I had messaged him and he actually responded. I was actually surprised, but he said 4 calls, but obviously we know that it was more than that because she took screenshots of that number calling her phone, so it was more than 4.
I think that Snapchat picture was was posted at 2 a.m. And then I've got the missed phone calls. They came in at 2:05, 2:06, 2:07, 2:08, 2:08, 2:08, and 2:09. She didn't try to call 911 from the phone. There was voicemail. She could have left a voicemail, but she didn't. She didn't text. And yet, like, no 911 calls were made. So that just makes it all the more weirder. Like, what was going on?
Obviously, she wasn't treading water using that phone, calling her mother 9 times in a row. You know what I mean? There's no way. Let's do an experiment. You put you in the middle of the ocean, tread water, and hold the phone up trying to make phone calls. She was definitely on land somewhere, whether it was on the the Ledge Lighthouse or somewhere else, making those phone calls. So somebody asked me, why don't you think she called, 911, or why didn't she? Because my first thing was, why didn't she leave a message? And I understand, you want to keep the phone ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing so it wakes somebody up. I said, listen, in distress, if my friend's drowning, I'm calling 911. Drunk, high, whatever I am, I'm calling 911.
Spencer and Sofia's last known location was the New London Ledge Lighthouse. The search began around 6 p.m. the next day on May 28, 2018. A Civil Air Patrol aircraft spotted Sofia and Spencer's alleged boat that afternoon on Truman Beach, Long Island, New York. 10 days later, on June 8, 2018, a commercial fisherman discovered Spencer's body near North Dumpling and Fisher's Island.
They went to the Yukon campus that night. That's where her car was. And they took the boat from there, they think. And the first briefing, we were told that it was a sunfish boat. And Spencer's father was there. I didn't get the picture, and his mother, obviously. And he showed me a picture of the boat he thinks that they took out. It was Spencer's boat, because he used to go to Avery Point and he was taking sail. He was, a good sailor. No life vest, but whatever. And so they think it was his boat from Avery Point that they took, because he showed it to me. He never sent me the picture, though, and it said on the back of the boat, Mugford in red, like Mug on one side and Ford on the other, in the back of the boat, like license plate kind of. It's a white boat, and I saw in red writing Mugford. But then I was told the boat that was found didn't have that on it. I don't know. Like I said, I kind of shut down.
I was told by Mr. Mugford that it was a boat from Yukon, but it did not say Mugford on it. What happened is that when I had requested documents and they were sent back to me, and I had gotten pictures of the boat that was found, it's called a mini sail. So there's a big M and then mini and then sail. So the M is pretty big. So the story is that she was at a press conference and that Mr. Mugford showed her a picture of a boat that was taken out, and she could have sworn it said Mugford on it. Again, that's not confirmed, but I do have a text message, a communication that Mr. Mugford said that it was a boat from Yukon.
Sofia and Spencer were reported missing around 6 p.m. on May 27, 2018. According to philosophyofcrime.com, Austin and his father went on their own search the next day, on May 28, 2018. While flying in a private plane, Austin and his father supposedly spotted a similar boat to the one Sofia and Spencer piloted upside down on Truman's Beach.
I think he did. I don't think he wanted to say for sure but he knows what he's doing. He's a pilot, and Austin and his dad had a friend in a boat when they could go out there. When the weather was bad, they wouldn't go out. And he did tell me that he spotted something, and it was right where the boat was found. And he said, I think I spotted something. It was white, looked like a vessel. I just don't think he wants to take credit for it, but I think he found it.
That was confirmed through Michelle. And I had requested reports from the Coast Guard, and I had questioned, I had called back the person I was in contact with, and I had questioned that man. I said, I'm a little confused as to what you mean by a civil patrolman or something like that found the boat. And he goes, well, the people that were in the air who found the boat, they weren't really part of our search, meaning the Coast Guard or any other, the police or anybody else that they had actually helping, like professionals. They said there was somebody in the air, a civil man, whatever they call him, found the boat. Southold Police Department statement had said it looked as though that boat had been in the rocks for a while, like because of how dug in it was, how set in it was in the rocks, which made you think, well, was that really the boat?
And, the police have been very nice, and the Coast Guard, and but I just feel like a lot more could have been done had they been a little more thorough and quicker and searched a little harder. But what do I know?
They had done a search at Avery Point, and they had found a white Nike sneaker. And apparently the story is that one of Austin's family members found the white Nike sneaker in the rocks. So now I was at work that day, and I had said, well, what happened with the friggin' sneaker? And somebody had taken a photo of it, thank God. I said, well, they should have brought, God knows, was he wearing sneakers? Was he not wearing sneakers? Was she wearing those? Was he not? I just thought it was odd that it was found in the area that they were searching, and that it was found supposedly by a member of Austin's family, that they found a sneaker, and then they just left the sneaker and went about their search.
Sofia McKenna's story circulated for months, which caused Anna Bratz to investigate further into Spencer and Sofia's last known location, the New London Ledge Lighthouse.
There was all this speculation about decoy cameras, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna call and ask them if they work, but I'm not gonna tell them who I am or come out and say, oh, I'm talking, referencing to these two missing people. So I called and I asked, do the security cameras work, and blah, blah, blah. She said, who are you and why are you asking if the cameras work on the lighthouse? And that's when I went into, there's two missing people and this was in January, I talked to this woman. I said, two missing people went out and one of them was found deceased and the other is still missing. She's like, well, they do work, and I've cooperated with the Coast Guard and Groton PD, and if you have any questions, you could call them. Click.
To this day, there has been no signs of Sofia, and this case remains a mystery.
I'm basing my opinion about this case as to the case that I had solved. That case, they thought this kid just drowned in the water, okay? They thought maybe this was another, and it was in New Haven, as another young black kid, maybe gang, whatever, blah, 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 and left it like that. And then moved on to like more important cases, you know what I mean? So I think that, and without really investigating what happened to this kid, and I think they're doing it the same way with this case. I think their suspicions as a drowning, that's what they suspected from the very beginning, and they're just gonna leave it like that.
Well, in the real world, she, if she is watching this and she's probably not in a good place, and what I would say to her is get the fuck out of there as soon as you can. But I know my Sofia, if anyone does have her and they're holding her captive, you never know. It does happen. They probably have her drugged up, because that's what they do with sex trafficking victims, I hear. But I don't know. I mean, if she's drugged up, she won't be able to do anything. But if she can get out of there, I guarantee whoever has her is going to end up dead, because she'll kill him. She was a fighter. She's a fighter.
If you haven't noticed, I take after my mom.
Like, I don't feel that she's gone. I just feel like she's lost and wants to be found. But maybe that's just the mother in me. I don't know.
After 7 missed phone calls, no security footage from the Ledge Lighthouse, no photos of Sofia and Spencer together, and minimal effort from the police. What really happened that Memorial Day weekend? Where is Sofia McKenna? This is the reality of being missing on Long Island. If you have any information about the disappearance of Sofia McKenna, please contact Michelle McKenna, finding Sofia Michelle McKenna at gmail.com. Groton City Police Department, 860-445-2451. Southold Police Department, 631-765-2600. If you have a loved one that went missing on Long Island, please contact missingonlongisland at gmail.com. Remember to like Missing on Long Island on Facebook, and like and subscribe to Ms. T Talk on YouTube.